that I'm going to show you isn't actually mapped on Navionics. So I've done sonar charts live, but I don't know, I was having issues with that this year. But typically, when I go to this lake, what I'll do, it's a lake that will actually do a lot of casting along the shoreline, usually for northern pike and whatnot. So what I'll do when I go up the first time, because it's not actually mapped and the weed beds come in some spots really far out and others not so much, is I'll actually just for the first hour or so of the trip, I'll just actually cruise along shoreline, decent clip, like 15, 20 miles an hour, pretty well right where I want to actually be trolling from and casting and whatnot. And I do it the same way because we'll do a combination of trolling and casting when we go to this lake. So we'll troll out the one side and cast towards the weeds on the other. Anyway, so here's a spot. So you can see I've got a bunch of different routes and trails all here. But I'm going to zoom into this one spot because I know there's typically right here a spot that when I made it up, we get into some weeds here, and I can't show you anything because I don't even have the sonar charts live taped when I had done this. But here you can see the purple line right here is the actual route that I did. Now I corrected this as I was going along just with the controller. Right up here, we actually, remember I caught a fish right here, so we got kind of stopped, or we got into some weeds or whatnot. I forget what that was, but let's just say this point right here where there's actually weeds in here. It was way too tight of a turn to get in there, so I'm actually going to adjust this route. So I'll go back to this one, Top Along Lake is the name of the lake. I'm going to edit, and so all I'm going to do, I'm going to start tweaking some of these guys. So I'm going to hit move here. I'm going to play around with this. You move every single one just a little bit. And I'm just going to follow it right onto the path I did. So at the end of the day, I could have taken these and when I got back to the dock and actually followed my actual path that I took instead of what the route was saying, which I totally forgot, I guess, when I did it. But so you can see here, it's nice, easy, and simple to actually move that. So you can actually go right around the your actual trail of what you've done that works really well. Whoops. So you can see here there was a whole bunch that that wasn't too bad. I screwed up there when I was following that, but and now I know these ones here actually are too close to weeds, so I'm just going to move these just a little bit. Gives a bit more room for casting when we're casting out that side. And that's pretty well it. So I'm going to hit save again. It's going to go back to the name of that one. Now that one was actually 2.5 miles long, that road was. So that works out really good. One other thing you can do for trails, these here are all my trails from the previous day that I was doing. So say I actually want to just create a trail on one of the routes that I had. So I can just go to that one. I had a trail on Monday. Every day we go up there, I start a new trail every day. So say I want to make a whole trail of that one, just go to create route. And it's going to take a while. Now when you do this, you're not actually, it's picking all the turns for you. So they aren't going to be as tight as, and it gets kind of real choppy sometimes. But let's have a look and see what this does here. It takes a little bit. This was probably a good while of trolling. I forget how long the when I go this way of turning an actual one of my trails into a route. So I forget the overall distance that it can be, but I've made routes that were really, really long. So like 10, 15 miles. So these are pretty good. So I think we're good there. I don't know why it's saying insert that. So I am going to hit save on that. The route with this name already exists. Yes, of course, because I've changed that. I'm going to hit save again. Route with this name. Oh, crazy me. we'll just say top along. I'll just show you how we do this. Hit save again. And now, this should have turned that in. I'm not sure what's going on, but you can definitely do that. Actually, you know what? I'm going to zoom back out and go back to Bay Quinte from last week, because it won't be nearly as long as a trail as what that one was. And I'll show you quick. It takes 2 seconds here. Usually I have this course up, but I don't want to fool around with it while I have you guys here. So I'll just pull up one of my trails from the other day. Probably have to turn them on. Let's go there and on the trails. I'll say Quinte, November 4th. That was last week when we were there. So that one's actually showing up here now. So it was red going in and out. I'm just going to click on the one, so I got the trail. There we go, right there. Quinte, November 4th. Create the route. It'll quick do it. And hopefully, maybe the reason it didn't work there and save was actually because it was way too long. This was probably 30 miles at least from where we launched to where we went up and actually turned around. So I just do Quinte, November 4th. There we go. Hit save. So here it actually, you can see now what it's done is it actually makes all the turns really, really sharp, and you're going to have to fix this up because it's actually, we're cutting across shore there. So in this sense, you can't really do it, but that's again where you can go and edit it, where you can actually click on that route there, and then get in to actually edit it and move that guy. Let's zoom in a little bit. So that we're on it. Finish moving that one. I'm going to click on it, move, and then, we just drag them totally back out in the water from shore, sort of thing. So it's kind of nice. You can do that, so you can make big, huge, long routes just by following your trails. At the end of the day, you can turn that back into a route if you want to actually troll along there or whatnot. Not necessarily a high-speed autopilot thing, of course, but definitely for your trolling or casting, it's pretty neat. So you can see that's following it all the way up, and it's going to go pretty far. It's a green line, so it's like 16 miles one way. It's pretty far. So and it actually went all the way up and all the way back because it was following our trail right to the boat launch, and where we launched and picked it, and you can see them both starting there. So yeah, it's kind of cool. So this is just one thing that I never ever really saw, especially in a lot of detail on YouTube or anywhere else on Facebook or anything, about actually making routes on the Lowrance and being able to follow them on the HDS. So it's kind of neat. When I go down to Lake Erie, I'll make a 10-mile long route and do a lot of zigzags. Not a lot of contour changes out there, of course, on our side, the Northern Canadian side. So I just do a lot of zigzags, get the lures moving up and down, speeding up, slowing down, and works out really well. And you can always start anywhere you want. So if you catch a fish, or you got a boat in the way, you can swerve out of the way. And once the obstruction goes past or whatnot, you can just click on it and start all over, and away you go. So I actually don't want to save this, so I'll hit save anyway. So that's pretty well it. So any questions, just leave me a message or whatnot, and hopefully that helps. Have a good one.